Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start, I'm going to talk to you as a regular person like everybody else. You know, I do everything like everybody else. I've done a lot of bad things and whatever. I started a project about, my mother would know because she's the one who picked me up. She picked me up and she couldn't stop me from crying. I knew what I saw. And what I saw was I couldn't understand. It was crazy. It was hazy and lazy. It was blue and black. It was white. I saw sort of a letter, but it was not a letter. It was a number. It was a number and a letter. It was letters and numbers and lights, and it was blurry and flashy, and I couldn't see the light the way it should have been because the light was displaced. So when we displace the light, and you take a 3D from a 2D, we can almost grab the light. And I don't even have a camera here besides the camera that's in front of me. See, tonight I have 6 of my friends over. Okay, excuse me, and a couple of my cats. This is Whitey. Does anybody know Whitey? Say Whitey. This is Whitey for White Face Mountain. He's got a white face. He has no mountain. He can jump on top of a mountain. You know what they did to these guys? They bent their arms here. These elbows up and these here. You know what these are? These are to jump away from things and make action and things, because in his life he wanted action. So they gave him action. And he ran away. He was sleek. He was sleek. So he ran. You couldn't see him jump from here to there. You didn't even see. It's magic. One is down and it's up. But do you see where it's up? And what's it up with? Is it carrying the light or holding the light? Is it magic in the night? You see, we separate our polycules and molecules and dots and bits and pieces that get so small, we don't even know what they are anymore because they just accumulate. And what happens is they form a little bit of a shell. You see, what you do is you take a Rolade. You know the way your bones disappear because something is eating? You know the salts. Hold on a second. One of my friends has a question. And it's only hand signals here because I don't want them to disturb the way I think. Because the minute I get a stop, it's a stop. But if I see a hand, I take it the way I take the signal. It's green, eh? Stop. Why do I stop in the green? Because it's nice green grass. And I stop and I touch it and it's real and it's refreshing and the sun shines on the green grass. We have green grass here. Look what we have. I found this old candle. It's blue, but look inside, it's white. You see, our teeth are the wrong color. That's why they're rotting away. That's why the whale sits in the sea of blue and he's gray. And he's living forever. And we're dying. And we get gray hair and then we die 6 years later. So what does that mean? Can you figure it out? It's the colors. You see, white is cold, man is cold. But white can be warm because it's ivory and it's soft, and that's like a warm feeling. So you feel warm. Warmth is so nice because it relaxes every single particle, and then it starts to blow the wind, and it blows at a certain temperature, and every single gate opens and moves and shuts. And we have a protective field. What happens is we're actually one of the smallest of all the molecules of any molecule, and what happens is we are not hard. We are semi-hard like a golf ball. Do I have a golf ball here tonight? Golf balls! Golf balls! You see this stuff? This stuff, this. Hold on a second, this is time. You see this? This, you should shove that up your ass. You know why? Because you're not allowed to shove it down your mouth. That means it's supposed to clean it out, so you're supposed to swallow it and not put it in the toilet. They tell you to put it in the toilet because it cleans one and takes another, but that's okay. It takes 1 or 2 or 3. But hey man, I had zero, well, 0, 0, 0, hero, or a 0 or a nothing with a sword. Especially when you take a 0 and you put a sword through it, it takes the 1 from the 1 and makes an X. 1 and 1 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. It's a whole of nothing. You see, it's nothing. If you understand too slow, because I can go very slow, and the bipolar is 1,000 times the maximum of what you were over when you were overactive. When you were super overactive, when you were hyper overactive, when you were super hyper, super ball, Superman, jumping high as he can go forever, because when it's a hyperactive activity that's gobbled in a way, you know, if I knew perfection, I would have found this like at 5 years old. Because at 5 years old, we always ask one question. And the question is, I'm going to get off the path, and who's on first? I don't know. Oma. It's not Oma. It's something touched him. So it was a sense. But there was no sense because, you see, this is the scent. See this scent? I don't know if you can see it. How do I hold it to the camera? You see this copper scent? This copper scent, okay, of all the copper pipes that put up with every green shit of everything, bacteria, for tons and tons of time, but it's so soft, so it's hard to last long. It doesn't have the right protection here on this earth because man has torn apart so many things, he can't put it back together fast enough because there's not enough people to get it together. And it costs too much. By the time they can't get the government to fund it. The Bay of Fundy. So they went out to the Bay of Fundy, they took a couple of fish, and they put up a dam. Damn them madman, Adam Saddam Hussein. Hussein what? Who's sad? Who's a sad man? Who's a sad man? Hussein what? And who's a sad man? That's the name of a man, a sad man. Hussein what? So confused, he decided to turn around and say, okay, I have no choice. I die or I push. Because if you push me, I'm going to die anyways, because under the water, the pressure is high, but it's low, and the water's above, and it ain't high of anything but above whatever's below it, and whatever's below it, he's higher. He's up on top. But when a fish comes by, and a whale comes by, and one goes up, one goes down, a particle moves, and the whole thing moves. So everything moves. So then the whole story moves. So I have to always keep on going, because if I ever stop, you make it in a rhyme. You do it and you move it so you make it feel fine. You don't need marijuana. You need that to slow. If you really want to do it, take the coke to go. The coke, the sugar, the things we shouldn't have. It rots our teeth, but don't you know, it's not the right sugar. Suke corn. Something fresh. But the whole thing is, you have to take the cob, the corn cob, you have to take the cob and the cob with the whole hair. You have hair in your head, you don't pull off spots. You got to mush it and mish it. You know, when they take the ground to mush it, to take it apart, well, something's together, mush it back together, so it feels together because it came apart to make the flour. The flour of the corn on the cob, cobweb, web cob, spider web cob, something put together because it fits together because it's supposed to stay together. If you take a piece from a spider web away and the spider's at that part, he slips, he shoots the grab, and if he shoots at a wrong spot, it's okay because the angle of what he does, the angler of the fish, is that the minute he shoots it up, he knows straight up on any angle. Because it goes down like this and it'll go into the ground, it'll open up so it won't go so deep, you know, once you do that into the ground. And, you know, it's like the scissors, you know. Here, if you're going up, look what happens. If you're going down, we got a problem. If we do it this way, we're only going down this way, and then we got to cross. Well, we don't have an even cross because this is like the sort of semi-crossroads, like we got a four-way stop coming up. But we got a four-way stop, but guess what? This little stop here, he sees one stop, he sees one stop, he sees one stop, he sees one stop. That's 4. But what about the guys on this side of the street? That's 8. What about the guys on the sidewalk? And the sidewalks, they got to watch out on each side of every side of the street that they're on for the guys who are turning. And the trucks that turn around them. And they split the streets up and they pull them close together and closer together. They thicken them. Now they put them in one. They turned 2 streets into one. Squeeze them together. We need buildings. Put up the buildings. Put up the buildings. Show them a little space. Give them an animal, throw them some money, take 80% of their money. People, oh my God, I piss away half my money. And I try to even calculate that I piss away more, but I don't. Every time I calculate what my fun is out of everything, out of $100, I only piss away 25%. The government takes 37 minimum. On the average, I'm up by 25%. I only lost 12%. I already made 12%, and that's 2.5% over the interest rate. 2.5 men. I'm one. Who do I multiply? 1 by 1 is 1. But I did everything to make the matters worse. Worse for them, better for me. Turning it around. You see, the talis, okay? It's a thing of tying up and what to tie up, okay? You have to know what to tie up and how to tie it up. You see, I just learned this, okay? Okay, you got a fork, okay? You see the fork? Now this is new to me, and it's shiny. And we know sometimes shiny is good. It's a transference of things, and shiny is bad. Because sometimes it might be shiny of something that shouldn't be there, and it's there for only a little bit of time. Like the lime in the field, and the dime and the dollar. They dollar to call her. They call her because she's a loon. She's a loony. She's a Looney Tune. Hey, Looney Tunes. They're all crazy. Look what we can do with that. If we move our hand all around, it all changes like magic. I take apart my face because the camera can't catch up to me. I'm faster than it, and I'm barely moving. You see me moving quick because I've slowed everything down. I've taken every piece and particle in this house that didn't have to be here. If I needed it, I keep it. How much do I need for the week? Oh, I got 800. Well, okay. I'm going to give away 30 bucks this week to charity. And I said that when I was like 18. And that year, I think I gave away 80 cents. And the 15% at the bar, if they were nice to me, I give them what it is, 15%, but I don't give them the 15%. On the 15%, they get 22.5%. I'm giving away 7.5%. of my 12.5%, I'm at 5%. But 5%, I start to think, you know, you're not far behind the game at 5%, because this is the way it goes. You ever played a grid? You know what the grid is? Grid is like this. And it was taught to me by the telephone man. You know the telephone man? Hey, tell, you tell, we tell. Well, we always started at the best place by the daddy. My father's an Abba. Tell, be tell. So if you play poker and you got a bluff, it's, I see, I got the tell of him. And I know no one's got the tell of me because I'm slow and fast because I mix them up. I talk. I bother one that bothers another. So they talk to each other. So they look at the dealer and the dealer looks at them. I see how they act and react. So they're two. 9 times 9 is 81. 7 cards and the 3 cards they throw away is 10. 91. There you go. We got 91 out there. 91 sections. 91. 9 times 9 when you play the deck. Okay, anybody really want to know what bluff is all about? Why do I lose? Because I was trying to learn the other side of the game. I had to know how everybody stole what they shouldn't have gotten because I let them steal it, then I had to know how. I had trip aces against Jack and nothing on the board, and a 60-50 throw with 300 in my pocket and an $800 paycheck. What am I doing sitting with there with 290 or 280 in my pocket? I know I'm going home with 130 anyways because you ain't got much money left. I'll quit after this if I'm not lucky. I said, I'll keep the money. The enjoyment that I stayed there the other 3 hours was worth another 5%. I'm back at 10. 5 and 5. Hey, 5, you know. When Hitler put up the 5, you know what he got? He got a lot of 5s. You know why? Because he got a 5 from all the men he ran in front of him, but he was minus 5 and 25 for the men behind him for what he did, and because he's a 5, so because it's a 5, he's double because he came up and down, so that's a 10, so it's a 25 times 10, it's a 250, it's a quarter of 1,000 already lost. Are you following me? You do the calculations. If you think I can recalculate this, this comes fresh into my mind, boom, 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 I say it, I do it, I forget it, I go to sleep right away, I go sleep 8, 9, 10 hours, get up in the morning, I have to make sure I do things. I don't brush my teeth with toothpaste anymore. Not all the time. I use Poly Brush. Poly Brush, your new toothpaste here. I'll show you. It fixes